Okay, so this today is the talk about harmonic healing. I wrote a book, it took me 3 years, and then it was a sort of preliminary of how we have to take care of ourselves in these times. So I wrote the book in 2019, and it is still it's become very popular. People are looking at it towards a lifestyle, for a lifestyle. The book is really a lifestyle. It's not just about food, although food is very, very important. So you guys have just finished 8 days on milk. You jumped into it and trusted the people that told you about it and you heard about it. And so today, on the 8th day, the last day of the milk, I'm hoping that many people feel the benefits of it. If you're not feeling the benefits of it, then I will tell you that liver cleansing is really important. Liver cleansing is really important at this time. The milk cleanse will clear the space, will reset you, as we know. It's a mono diet. Mono diets are wonderful for resetting. So the milk has an added factor because it draws parasites out. And if you have read my book, we know, or you heard me a few days ago, there are 5 different categories of parasites, and this milk cleanse gets you started on cleaning it up. But if you're still headachy and foggy, it more than likely is Candida. So please, we're going into food. No sugar, no fermented food. Stay away from the bread. The bread has yeast. So you're going to build more Candida, more yeast, if you don't now change your diet. This is an opportunity to change your diet. It's a real opportunity because we're clear, you know. So we're ready to eat. So day 8, last day of milk. So tomorrow, we're going to prepare for tomorrow. We're going to be very excited and get our fruits and vegetables and good quality protein. As I mention all the time, I'm not so worried about whether you're a vegan, whether you're a carnivore, whether you're an Ayurvedic person. I'm more interested in the quality of the food. The quality of the food is so, so important. So what do I mean by quality? It's not necessarily because it's more expensive, so it has a higher quality. It's the potency of the food. So we look for organic vegetables. We look for grass-fed meats, organic grains, organic um, legumes. And that's basic your diet. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, grains, protein, all the various types of protein. Nothing has a special name. Nothing is processed. We learn how to cook. We learn how to cook or find a really good restaurant that also has a good chef there. So who understands about food, not tons of cooked fats, not mixtures, so many mixtures. I went into a restaurant one time in New York, and the waiter was telling me about, it was a vegetarian restaurant, and the waiter was telling me what was in it. And after he got done, I said, that was one dish. So keep it simple. The best way to eat on a regular basis is keep your food simple. So let's go back to harmonic healing and what that means. We have a physical body and we have an energetic body. Okay, we have an energetic body. This is an energy field. If you've been practicing yoga, you feel that energy field. So we're more than just the physical. Know that this physical is not alive without this etheric field. This etheric field is how we stay in a harmonic energy field. So the physical body is here, the etheric body is here. This is what we need to nourish. We need to nourish the energy field even before we nourish the physical, because nothing happens in the physical without it first happening out here. So we have this physical and etheric double, and this physical and etheric double is our life force. That life force is connected to the higher fields. The ether is the number one element that is connected to the spiritual. It is the most esoteric of our elements. And then we go from ether into air, into fire, into water, and into earth. So we are made up of 5 elements. And these 5 elements are necessary to feed. How do we feed the etheric body? How do we feed the ether of our body, which keeps us alive? We do it with food that is imbibed with energy. When you look at a head of broccoli, you look at a crown of broccoli, that broccoli has an energy field, and that energy field is strong if it's grown organically. Strong. It's weaker if it's weaker if it has pesticides or chemicals or fertilizer in it. So that energy field goes down. And instead of that broccoli giving us nourishment, even though it looks good, it's draining our energy, it's draining our health. Now that is the energetic view of food. So now we just don't have this broccoli that's going to make us full. We have this broccoli that has an energy field that's connected to the cosmos. We are the same. We are in the human kingdom. That is the plant kingdom. But it also has an alive energy field. And that's the food that we need to eat to rebuild. You've reset, now you need to rebuild. So, besides the etheric field, we have physical, we have etheric, we have an astral field, which is connected to the stars. And that astral field is our emotional body. We then have another field. It's the mental field. It's not just our brain and how we're thinking, but it's a mental field that connects us to our spiritual will. That is the way we think. It's how we think. You know, I started yoga in the 70s, actually 1970. And as we practice yoga, especially, we start to understand that we are more than the physical. We're beginning to yoke ourselves, not only with each other, but the whole cosmos of why we're here, the reason why we are here. That is the question. Why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? If we can answer that question in a lifetime, we have done very, very good. So we've had this restart of milk, which was very peaceful. It's a peaceful cleanse. You don't have to start running juices and trying to figure out how am I going to do this or do. No, the milk is there. You just drink your milk and you start to reset. You give your body a chance to be reborn, really, to be reborn. So when I realized that this was a real good way to help people to become more aware, I agreed to do the milk cleanse in a broader way because I only have 2 hands and I can't see as many patients. I mean, we have a small clinic. I'm in my office now, as a matter of fact. We have a small clinic and we take care of our patients. And for 40 years, I've been giving milk cleanse. And then from the milk cleanse, after the 8 days, I give them the next phase 2. And that phase 2 is you have a formula that's going to break up the mucus. You may still see worms. And by the way, everybody does not see worms. Some of them are microscopic. We talked about that. But people are seeing worms, by the way. So it's all sorts of reasons for doing the milk cleanse, whether it's microscopic, worms, even fungus. I have seen big changes in people when they do this. So next phase, we're going to have a formula that's going to, we continue with our cayenne formula and our aloe and pepsin formula, so that things keep moving. But we choose foods from our liver cleansing diet, which has been written in the little booklet, which is, well, maybe I'm going to say what you can eat first. It's always nice to know what you can eat first. So we are going to eat vegetables. Minimize on your fruit. Minimize. Don't overdo fruit. And while you're doing that, especially if you have candida, we don't want to have a lot of fruit, especially no dried fruit, especially very sugary fruits like mangoes, bananas, dates, anything that, and you can tell those are really sweet. Avoid the really, really sweet, because you have a fresh, new taste in your mouth. Now you're fresh and new. So it's like, would you give really very sugary things to on this program? No. The little bit of a few berries or a green apple or a grapefruit is going to taste sweet to you. So we have fruits, and we don't mix our fruits too much, but we have fruits. You can have citrus, you can have kiwi, you can have strawberries, you can have that. First thing tomorrow, you can have a nice little fruit plate if you like. Or you can do the liver cleansing drink, which incorporates citrus. If you're having a candida issue, don't use orange. Orange is quite a bit more sweet than grapefruit. So, and the liver cleansing drink, if anybody, if anybody's read my book, I use it for a few weeks to flush the gallbladder, because here you have the citrus. You have that citrus there with some olive oil. So that's the first thing you're putting in your gut. It's the first thing you're putting in your gut. So your liver and gallbladder said, and flushes through the gallbladder, because that's that citrus. That's like a mini gallbladder flush. So it's very helpful if you want, especially if there's skin problems, especially if you're really had liver problems in the past. That liver cleansing drink is very effective in the morning. Okay, so we have fruits. We have vegetables. Please incorporate vegetables from all parts of the vegetable, the stalk, the flower, the leaves. They all mean something. To just eat broccoli every day. Oh, I ate my vegetables. To just eat zucchini every day. Oh, I ate my vegetables. No, make sure you're eating the whole plant. In anthroposophical medicine, we know that the plant, if you take a beet grows under the ground, right? Beet's under the ground, it's got its leaves, right? If you turn that beet over, that beet, it's the upside down man. So we feed our food, we feed our body with upside down plants from our head up. Beets, carrots, head, feeding your brain, feeding your nervous system. As you get down to the leaves, you're nourishing your lungs. leaves look like your lungs. So, okay, so 5, 6 vegetables at a meal? No, 3 is good. Don't overdo and make your food complicated. You know, if you look at my stir fries in the book, they're about a certain, just a small group of vegetables, not everything that you have in the kitchen sink. What we want to do is to understand taste. You may use your spices. If you've got a fiery liver, you want to have cooling spices, such as cumin and turmeric and basil, dill. These are cooling. Cilantro, cooling. So, but then some people need a little fire. So they're going to go for the cayenne, you know, especially if we want to move weight. Okay, when we want to move weight, we want to have a little spice to it, or ginger, or you know, our different herbs and garlic and onion. But if you've got a lot of liver problems in the past, I would not recommend too much onion and garlic because there's sulfur in it and it can aggravate. So start simple. Just, you're going to love plain steamed vegetables right now with a little olive oil and a sprinkle of salt because you haven't had anything to eat. Then you let your body work. Go to the store and see what resonates for you. Now you're going, I'm not sure whether we're choosing liver cleansing or modified liver cleansing according to my recommendations. But the first 3 weeks, and that's the part that you're on now, I would do a strict liver cleansing diet. Strict meaning protein and vegetables, all vegetables, no grain. I would do no grain until my body got used to food. You can make soups, but I would avoid grain. A good protein with vegetables. Now, okay, so you can make dal and vegetables. You can use your spices with that. So, okay, we have an idea. Half the book, I'm telling you, half the book is recipes. I'm not trying to sell my book, trust me. I'm just trying to help you as I would help my patient on the phone. And just really, I say, what do you eat for breakfast? What do you eat for lunch? What do you eat for dinner? No, let's do this. No, I want to hear what your diet is. And I've put menus there. So, and that is the way that I have trained, coached my patients. My patients of 40 years are eating that way. So, interesting little anecdote here. So, I during this last year, I've heard from people I haven't heard from in a long time, like 3, 4 years. And I say, wow, so nice to hear from you. Well, I'm just checking in with you because of what's going on. But I've been well for 3 or 4 years doing exactly what I'm talking about. Doing your milk cleanse periodically, doing your baths, eating well, no processing, and lifestyle. Lifestyle. It's not just about what we're eating. It's it's more about taking that food and blessing it and understanding where it's coming from. Understanding where it's coming from. So, and with that, there's gratitude and blessing. I always bless my meal. It's really important. Even if you're out at a restaurant that does not have organic food, you say, oh my God, I've been eating organic. Please take your hands and just silently bless it because you can change it because you are God within. That is what we're training. We are training in this way. We're training to realize who we really are. And so we have our food as one way of honoring ourselves and around us, honoring nature, having movement, Whether it's yoga, maybe you don't like yoga, put on music and dance. You know, I try to move every day, whether it's put music on and dance, whether it's getting onto my elliptical, whether it's, well, yoga I do every morning, so that one doesn't count. I do a very short routine, but I do it every day. So that's something to be said. And so we have that. Now we have to look at, so we have our food, we've cleaned our body, we need to keep our bowels moving. If we're having fogginess at this point, you know you've got to go on a Candida diet. Means really no sugar and nothing fermented. You're not ready for fermented. I'm not against fermented food or drinks for that matter. But I am against it if it's going to fight and add to your problem. So clear your yeast. And then we have virus. And virus is all about will. We're all sitting here with viruses, okay? We really are. I mean, we've had from childhood, we've had polio vaccines, and these are all viruses. They're in our system. It's part of our biome. It's our virome, to be honest. And the way we deal with that is by will, to know we can overcome. Everybody's just settled in our system. We know who we are. And if something gets out of line, like, you know, a herpes or a shingles or a this or a that, if something gets out of line, it's something we're doing. Are we overworking? Are we not taking time in nature? Are we not moving our body? That is part of it. We're not, I hear from people, well, I did your diet and I'm still doing this, but what's the attitude involved? So I know for sure I can feel confident, I can feel secure, and I can feel grateful that so many people are getting on the bandwagon of the milk cleanse to give your body a rest, so then you can start a good lifestyle with good food, movement, prayer, meditation, dance, fun, community. This, we are not living alone. I think that's from the pandemic. I think that's was the hardest part of seeing and talking to patients who lived alone and couldn't leave their houses. That was the hardest. So I would coach them on how to look within. This is a special time. Go outside, hug a tree. You get a lot of information from trees, trust me. So we have the food understood. Let's talk about the environment for a minute, because this is not normal times. Most of us, which is not me, by the way, because I don't like Zoom. I'm doing this as a very special thing because I feel that it was important to talk to you in a group. I'm a hands-on teacher in person. I like a blackboard and I like to get information and just get together and figure it out all ourselves, because we all have knowledge. We all have knowledge, maybe from different perspectives, but we have knowledge. And I honor that knowledge in all of you. That's what Satnam means. That means, and that's what Namaste means. Namaste, I honor you. So, yeah. And so we have to look at our environment, because this is a different time. We have radiation, massive amounts of radiation. There is a 5G channel on every stoplight in New York City. There's high power towers on the roofs. We're always with our phone. We're always in front of the computer. I personally am hardwired in my computer rather than Wi-Fi. I choose to do that. And that can be done very easily, by the way. If you're on your computer every day, try to hardwire your to the internet. It'd be much better. But besides that, what can we do about it? Sea salt and baking soda baths. Sea salt and baking soda baths. Please continue to do your sea salt and baking soda baths. It's very, very important. From a food level, from a food level, seaweed. If you don't have candida, miso, lots of seaweed. We serve seaweed every day in our house. We have a jar and just take some. That's my snack, seaweed. It's my dull snack around 3 o'clock is seaweed. And so because so what is that radiation doing? That radiation is actually robbing our hemoglobin. It's robbing our minerals, and it will get stuck in the bones. The radiation goes to the bones and it goes to the bone marrow. And that bone marrow can have gamma ray in the bone marrow. So, and I mean, fortunately, we have remedies to deal with that. However, yeah, the remedies are sea salt and soda, bone broth. Bone broth is a biggie. Okay, you rebuild with bone broth. What is our idea of how we protect ourselves? Why we protect ourselves? Obviously, because there's a lot of invisible threats. Invisible. So we really don't know. Some of us are starting to feel it, and especially the sensitive ones. But our job, we have this physical body, we have this etheric body, and this etheric body is our web. So if we strengthen our web of energy, we will eventually learn how to live with the present problem. Because let me tell you, the present problem is going to get worse, not better. We're 5G, 5G, 5G. Yes, it's a different frequency. It's really difficult. So learn to live with it because it's not going away. But it'll go to 6G. It'll keep going. This is the world that we chose to live at this time. It is our opportunity to actually change this world and to trust nature. Everything we're talking about here is nature and an understanding of the electromagnetic field. That electromagnetic field is what's causing you to be sick. If it is out of balance, it will cause you to be sick. If we have too much radiation, our cells will be inflamed and revved up, and then it'll start to drain our own minerals. That's why vegetables are so, it's one of the reasons why vegetables are so important. So important. So that's how we strengthen our field, because remember, I said that broccoli has an energy field. And if it's organic, it's a big energy field. And if it's a big energy field and we eat it, then we get stronger. It's as simple as that. If you want me to go into it in physics terminology, we can, but I don't think it's necessary. Just know we are feeding ourselves, and it's important. Now let's go to the other side of the spectrum, which is really making us tired, really tired. Radiation will make you like jittery and can't sleep at night because there's too much radiation around. Take a bath. The slowing of our cells, or the tiredness that comes from chemicals, heavy metals, pesticides, and so forth. And that is in our food and it's in our air. I hate to tell you that, but it's in our air. We know that the chemtrails leave nanoparticles of aluminum. So aluminum is one of our biggest culprits these days, is aluminum. So as I said, continue with your baths. and do as much as you can to be in areas of nature. You guys in New York have Central Park. I have my hills of New Mexico. Find a park if you're in a city. Connect with the trees because they are cleaning the air. They are cleaning our environment. Those plants are cleaning our environment. So we have our baths to do so that we can keep our electromagnetic energy balanced, right? We have to move our body because our lymph needs to move. You know, even if you're at your desk, move your shoulders. You know, we should be able to really, and then always take your arms and open up the chest. The chest is where our heart is. Here's our heart. We have to open up the heart space, and we have to make sure our neck is moving enough that we can connect to the higher forces. These are energy blocks. So when we're doing yoga, we're looking, or any kind of exercise, really. You just, I mean, my favorite yoga posture is the Shavasana, corpse pose. That's my most favorite, by the way. And it's the most difficult. That one is the most difficult because you think, oh, I'm just lying here. Unless you go into complete relaxation and be ready for anything in that corpse pose, and I mean anything, then you've mastered it. Because then you've also mastered dying. So our job is to get rid of the fear. Fear is not, there's no need for fear here. If you're scared, there are lots of homeopathic remedies. Study homeopathy. Get some Bach flower remedies. Find out why you're afraid. So we have that happening. All right, I've talked a lot. Unless you want me to continue, but I am willing to take some Q&A, which we weren't sure, but I'm just seeing everybody wanting to say something on the last day of this brilliant, wonderful milk cleanse that I will say it's the first time that this has been accomplished. First time, and we can thank Jody for that. We can thank Jody back in AKA in New York City when she came into my office after she did the milk cleanse. She says, I want to do this. I want to tell everybody about it. And I want to make it so popular that everybody just gets well, because she was so well after that. And it took us a long time to put the milk cleanse together. I can assure you, because it's not just a simple thing. Yeah, just go get some milk and here's these. It doesn't go like that. This is a work of 3 years, Jody. I mean, I was like, I'm writing the milk cleanse in the thing, and you guys don't have it. In there, I was like going to take it out. I was threatening them.
True.
Yeah. I said, my publisher is saying we go to the milk cleanse, but there's nothing. So you guys have something. Okay, so you're part of a new vision, a vision of hope, a vision of hope for health, awareness, love, peace, and passionate about wanting to know who you are and why you're here. Okay, so anybody want to say something? I could go on. I can lecture for 3 hours. So
Sure, I'll ask a question.
okay.
Thank you so much. Wonderful information. It's been an amazing 8 days. So thank you all, Jody, Dr. Lancaster, everybody. Have metals been toxified during this process? And if so, can you just talk a little bit about that, please? And thank you.
The apple cider vinegar bath is a general detoxifier, and it will detoxify heavy metals. If you feel you've been exposed to more metals, and that's what all this is about, I recommend a Clorox bath. And don't stop the baths. Please stay healthy, eat well. You have a golden opportunity to continue on this feeling great. Just because we stop the milk does not mean I have more energy than most people my age. Okay. We won't mention my age, but we know where it is about. And so I just know when I need to do, when I'm a little off, what's going on here. I'm not supposed to feel bad. Yeah, you can have a headache or something, but you say, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, I need to take a bath or whatever. So I think that the metals, cilantro, include a lot of cilantro in your diet. That will take heavy metals out of the brain. Do your baths. And there are metal detox programs. We don't sell over the counter from our clinic. We have formulas that we use, but we just don't. Because if I give something to someone, I have to know it really is safe and works. That it took me a long time to be able to even release the milk cleanse for that reason. Safety was my biggest issue. So, but there are over-the-counter metal detoxes. They have homeopathic ones. You can do a round of heavy metals and do it that way. Maybe someday we'll put some more products on the milk cleanse of the follow-ups that Jody has been bugging me for 3 years. Okay. We'll do our own line soon, yeah. And just to guide you, but I want to give you the information to be aware. In the book I talk about Illumina 30X is a good formula, and it's simple, and it's inexpensive in the homeopathic pharmacy. I think that what we want to avoid as much as possible is drugs, because drugs are also in that field of non-organic. It's in the chemical field. It's not going to make you healthier. It may alleviate a symptom, but you better think twice before you continue to alleviate symptoms. Okay? That's just a Band-Aid. We are not interested in Band-Aids. We're interested in our vital force becoming so strong that we are here to do what we're supposed to do in life. And if we go towards that side of things, you're not going to have the health and awareness and alertness if you don't do that. There are nature heals. We have everything in nature. Trust me. Believe me, we have everything in nature. Yeah. Johanna, did you have something to say? Or you're giving me a peace sign? Great. Okay, peace sign's good. I'll do 2 peace signs. All right.
I do. I can ask a question, a million, but firstly, I just wanted to say this is the first time I've ever done a cleanse. I would say I'm generally a fairly healthy considered person, but this last few years have been strenuous, and I've had quite a heavy buildup of, I now realize, toxins, so inflammation and lots of heavy fog brain, mood swings. And I was just like, I'd read about it through Philip Attar and how he'd overcome his things. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And hand on heart, I cannot believe how amazing I feel. I did not think I would be like this. And I went through quite a strenuous week as well of moving and blah, 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 blah. So I want to say thank you from the heart. And my question to you is, I follow quite an Ayurvedic kind of constitution. So I'm fairly naturally Vata Pitta. And so my Vata is usually out of whack. And I'm really, wanting to make my first day back into food be working for me. So I was going to do a khichdi diet for a couple of days. However, you did mention grains, and grains maybe not the best to jump back into. What would you recommend? I do eat bone broth, so I can do bone broth, but I'd love to know from you what you would think I should just gently kind of ease into this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, for the Vata, don't have any raw.
Oh, okay.
No raw food for you for now, because you need the warming. Okay. You can, yes, I say no grains, but if you read in my book, in the liver cleansing diet, I have menus for vegetarian and menus for meat eaters. So you can have some basmati rice in your khichdi, because it's gentle, and if we're thinking about weight loss, or cut back on the rice. But you can have, I noticed the Ayurvedic khichdi. I have that we posted on the milk cleanse, and I have several vegetarian menus that you can just go straight into. But I would start with the liver cleansing drink anyway with you, because of the liver cleansing drink that has it will just help things move. Are your bowels moving? Sorry.
No, that's okay. They've
It's
been
just the way I talk. I can't help it.
No, that's okay. I'm very Vata, so they've been indulating, right? Some
Yeah.
days a little bit of diarrhea, and then some days like serious difficulty. So it's just been in and out, in and out. I've gone every day though. Yeah.
Oh, great. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the khichdi diet for 3-4 days, and then you can go to steamed vegetables. Are you vegetarian?
Not right now, no.
Okay, not with the bone broth. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I would just go into lots of steamed vegetables, little raw olive oil on the top. Don't fry anything. A baked sweet potato, steamed artichokes. This is the season for artichokes. Artichokes are so good for the gallbladder. Beets, steam your beets. Have it with the greens. So you have your beets, your greens, an artichoke, and a sweet potato. Thank you. You have your meal.
Okay.
Okay, there's no protein on that meal, but it's okay sometimes to just eat a vegetable meal. But then in the evening, or or at another meal, you can have roast a chicken, make a chicken soup, make a there's so many options. Legumes are allowed on the liver cleansing diet, on this first phase that I recommend. Legumes are allowed. So you can also do just dal.
Mm.
You can make a dal with lots of vegetables in it. My red lentil dal in my book is quite good, if I must say myself. I don't know, anybody has tried my recipes?
Thank you.
Yeah, Malia, of course she has. Yeah, we're hoping to do a full book on just food, because it really is my most love. And I'm right there with you with Vata and Pitta. So
I can see that. Your energy is awesome.
in the air, my air flows. My air flows, and my determination from my solar plexus chakra is strong. Anybody else? Hi, Lisa.
These were questions I got from the last talk.
Okay.
You had mentioned encapsulated
Uh,
parasites. And I know that might not be something you'd be able to address, but because I had cancer, you know, that would be something I'd be interested in. So how do I just connect with you, or is there how do I get into that?
okay. There's so many questions that I would have to ask you.
Yeah. And I could,
And this is
I'm
not.
actually, I don't live in New Mexico, but I'm from New Mexico and I go back often.
Oh,
My
fun.
sister lives in Santa Fe, my mom lives in Albuquerque. So I was thinking I could come in. It would be great to make an appointment with you.
Sure, you call the office.
Okay.
Light Harmonics. You'll find it.
Okay. Awesome. I do have one more question though.
Yep.
So within the whole cancer thing, I've been working with a woman that specializes in natural healing for breast cancer. And when I did a whole after I did chemo, I did a whole natural healing with different supplements that were targeted to specifically my circulating tumor cells. And within that, I would do a coffee enema once a day. And now I'm doing it once a week. And I'm just wondering what your take is on the coffee enema. And it's very specific coffee. It's made for enemas. It's high in palmate acid, I think. It's like a green coffee.
It's hard for me to answer because I don't think coffee enemas should be ongoing.
Okay.
Okay. For a long period of time. I truly understand the use of it at the time.
Right.
But I think it's a better idea to evaluate where you are now. So, to see if chemo is still in your body, to see, have you had the tumor removed?
I had a mastectomy.
Okay.
But I do this.
And your scans are fine, and your scans are fine.
Well, they don't give me scans, but I do through this woman, I do this special test that's out of Greece.
I see.
And I did get the test done recently, and my circulating tumor cells had gone way down.
Well, that's a good
But
direction.
now they're back up, probably because of the pandemic.
Probably.
But they're not anything that you would see in normal testing.
Okay, so if you're getting results from your practitioner, I would say stay with her and incorporate what I've taught you.
Yeah.
Incorporate it.
Okay.
Because this can stand with any program. I mean, I can give it to a neighbor who's never heard of anything, and they say, wow, and change their diet. So, and for someone who's had issues, you want to make sure you dot all your I's and cross your T's and look at shock.
Okay. Yeah.
Shock is there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've gotten more shocked since afterwards because my dad died unexpectedly.
That's not good.
And I think the chemo it totally shocks your system.
Okay. Well, anything more than that, we'll do it privately. So, yeah, bless you. Any other question? I mean, we all do this cleansing for different reasons. We all do it for different reasons.
I have a question, please.
Thank you.
Hi, it's Courtney again. I spoke to you.
Where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi. It's nice to speak with you again. Thank you very much again.
Welcome.
And I just was wondering, like with the acid reflux, potential ulcer, thankfully with the suggestion of dropping down to the one Formula 1 capsule, I haven't been having as much burning. I still have a little bit of burning. Should I continue to take just the one capsule during the phase 2?
Yes.
Do you have any? Sorry, go on.
But also, don't do the liver cleansing drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of your situation. I would do, I would keep it to warm foods now because you don't want your stomach heating up to try to digest raw foods.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, kitchery would be a good thing because it's all coating, you know. Um, Steamed vegetables, soups, zucchini soup. Um, that would work very well for you, I think. But I
Great.
would stop. I would not stop if you're not having that much of a issue. I wouldn't stop. Are you taking Nux Vomica?
I did pick it up, but I was under the impression that since that was to help you go to the bathroom, and after I had spoken to you, I just started to drink warm water, and I started to be able to go better. So
Okay.
should I still take the Nux
Take the
Vodka?
Nux because the Nux is very much for. I mean, you could read about it. It's very much also for acid reflux.
Mm-hmm.
I won't go into the whys of it, but it can help acid reflux.
Great. And you would take the two tablets twice a day?
2 pellets twice a day. Do it for a couple of weeks, then stop for a couple of weeks, see how you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just use it as needed because of what you're eating and uncomfortable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds great. And then one last question. I have been following you for a while, and I did notice that at a previous time you offered like radiesthesia trainings. Do you think that after COVID, that'd be something you'd be interested in teaching again?
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. And we'll for the people who are part of the meal cleanse, we will offer a beginner's class in pendulum.
Oh, that'd be lovely. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Then you can check to see whether you take one or two, because you will be able to. I want to put the empowerment back to the people. These are your abilities, but you just don't have a tool to know yet. But you do know. Your body knows what it likes. There is an attraction and a repulsion. We know what we don't like, and we know what we like. And so that is the part that I need to teach, and I will.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Hi, Jody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Or do you want me to just keep gabbing?
No, I think we're good. This is like, I hope that everybody, takes everything from this week and enjoys every bit of it. I hope everyone feels amazing. I know there's a handful of people that are like still on day 4 and day 3 or day 6 or whatever it is. So we're going to keep the group
Yeah.
alive.
But if you want to follow me on Instagram, Light Harmonics.
And everybody should absolutely have the book. It's like when Philip says he's like on the road and the only book he has with him is Linda's book. Like that's sort of how the book goes. You want it in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious if I may ask a question. I had my hand up, and I think Sabrina also did. I will say on that book that what I've found is taking photos of the recipes so that you've got them like digitally is phenomenal, and having access to them. I just also want to say thank you so much, Dr. Linda. Of course, we know each other very well. And thank you for all that you do and for, being on the Zoom and being a part of this. And specifically to Jody, we haven't met, and what you have done here to create this and to offer to people is so phenomenal and so important. And I'm so passionate about it myself, having worked for so many years, but I talk about it, and how you brought this into a sphere is like, I'm here to support in any way that I can. And I'm so passionate about it as well. And so I love you. Thank you so much.
There's another person, but thank you, Malia. Yeah.
And there's one question there that you've said olive oil and ghee, and someone was asking about coconut oil, and I heard you say
coconut oil because you live in Hawaii.
Great. Right, that if you're around the coconuts that it's okay, but this is for someone else asking, is coconut oil okay? And is that the case if you're around it?
I use coconut oil on my skin. And I don't cook with it. I think it's a hard, heavy fat, and we've got enough congestion in our bloodstream. We can get our fats in other ways. which I wanted to say one more thing. I am going to post a soup that I'm making, passata di verdura. So that is one of the best soups to do when you break your cleanse. You may want to do it tonight. So anyway, and one more, yes,
Dr. Linda,
yes.
quick question on olive oil. So no heated olive oil right now. For example, can you saute any type of vegetable like really quick and in a little bit of oil, or do we just want it cold?
We would prefer it cold because we're using it as a healing agent. Okay. Now, and I'll just briefly talk about this. The olive oil, the molecular structure of the olive oil is beautifully smooth. And when it comes into the body, it just heals the liver. It's a liver healer. Once we put heat to it, the molecular structure actually gets jagged. The high heat gets jagged. And now you have an irritant. So from a healer to an irritant. What I'm saying about this is that during this period, no heated oil. You could use a little ghee, you could use a little grapeseed, and you can also stir fry with broth, sorry, with chicken broth. You can have, or chicken fat, they call it in my grandmother used to call it schmaltz. Was that right, Jody?
Yeah.
Schmaltz. That was it. My Russian grandmother, she always had a jar of schmaltz in the bottom of the refrigerator. So you can stir fry your vegetables that way, or just steam them and put the beautiful olive oil on top. Once you've tested that and tasted that, you may not go back. You'll say, "Ooh, that tastes funny," because you get the pure taste of the olive oil. In saying that, my passato di verdura has about a quarter of a cup of olive oil, but it's cooking slowly in water with the vegetables. It's the direct heat that aggravates it. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Don't high heat with olive oil. You can, when this is all done and you're on maintenance, right? I do take a little olive oil and I put the fire on very, very low. It takes longer, but it really still is okay. Like I will do that with vegetables, and then after it's starting to smell the garlic, I put a couple of tablespoons of water and put the cover on and on low heat, and the vegetables taste quite good. Trust me.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Anybody last words? Stay in touch with me. And I hope that we get to do this. We've learned a lot in this milk cleanse, but we see the benefits. For those who are still feeling a little so-so and they're on their 4th day, hang in there. Just hang in there. It's a pleasure to start cooking and honoring the food. So I'll end with that, and blessings on everyone. Blessings, and thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share what I've been doing for so many years.
Thanks, everyone.